They stole something from you. While you were taught that black people under Jim Crow had nothing, owned nothing, built nothing, there was a place in Michigan where black millionaires ran 300 businesses, where Louis Armstrong owned a mansion, where 25,000 black Americans lived like royalty every summer for 50 years. They didn't just hide Idlewild from you. They destroyed it. And they used your own civil rights heroes to do it. They filled your textbooks with stories about black suffering and defeat, while deliberately erasing the black paradise that thrived in the Michigan wilderness. They never told you that Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, who performed the first successful pericardium surgery in America, chose to retire there. They omitted W.E.B. Du Bois, calling it the beautifulest stretch I have seen for 20 years. They ignored Madam C.J. Walker conducting million-dollar business meetings on the shores of Lake Idlewild. This wasn't some small resort they accidentally overlooked. Idlewild housed over 300 black-owned businesses and created wealth that changed countless black families forever. They knew exactly what they were hiding from you. Proof that the most successful black community in American history could be completely destroyed within a single decade through their own manipulation. In this video, we'll uncover the brilliant business gamble that created Idlewild. Meet the black pioneers who transformed it into an economic powerhouse. Witness the golden age when legends like Aretha Franklin and Jackie Wilson made it their second home, and discover the bitter irony of how civil rights victories led to its complete destruction. The year is 1912. Four white couples are about to accidentally create the most successful black community in American history. Erastus and Flora Branch from White Cloud, Michigan, along with Adelbert and Isabel Branch, team up with Chicago couples Wilbur and Mame Lemon and A.E. and Modlin Wright. These real estate developers see dollar signs where their racist neighbors see only hatred. They purchased 2,700 acres of pristine Michigan wilderness surrounding what would become Lake Idlewild. Their business plan sounds simple. Sell vacation lots to the growing black middle class who are literally banned from every other resort in America. The genius lies in their marketing strategy. They place advertisements in the Chicago Defender, the Indianapolis Recorder, and the Pittsburgh Courier, the most influential black newspapers in the Midwest. The ads offer lots for $1 down and $1 per month, targeting the specific financial habits of black professionals who often paid small amounts over time for major purchases. Most brilliantly, they hire black salespeople like Charles Anderson and organize train excursions from Detroit, Chicago, and Cleveland. Prospective buyers can see this hunter's paradise with their own eyes. 2,700 acres of untouched forest, multiple crystal clear lakes, and most importantly, complete freedom from racial restrictions. The white developers have no idea they've just lit the fuse on a black excellence explosion that will reshape American history. But Dr. Williams wasn't content to just own property in this revolutionary community. He was about to transform it into something much more powerful. August 1915. Dr. Daniel Hale Williams steps off the Pierre Marquette train and into history. This man performed the first successful pericardium surgery in 1893 at Chicago's Provident Hospital, a facility he founded because white hospitals refused to let black physicians practice. When America's most respected black surgeon decides Idlewild is worth his investment, every black professional in the Midwest pays attention. Williams doesn't just buy property. He purchases prime lakefront real estate and builds a luxurious two-story home, complete with electricity, indoor plumbing, and a rose garden overlooking the lake. His presence creates an immediate domino effect. Herman O. and Leela G. Wilson from Chicago joined the first group of buyers, along with 20 other black professionals. By 1920, Williams has co-founded the Idlewild Improvement Association with Louis B. Anderson of Chicago, Robert Reif, and William Green of Cleveland. This black-controlled organization systematically buys out the white developers, taking complete ownership of property sales and community development. The transformation happens rapidly. Dr. Williams builds the Oakmere Hotel on the island, constructs a summer pavilion for evening gatherings, and creates the infrastructure for what will become America's black intellectual capital. Word spreads through black medical networks, legal communities, and business circles like wildfire. The most prominent Black Americans in the country start making pilgrimages to see this hidden paradise for themselves. But before we continue with the incredible story of how these Black pioneers built their empire, if you believe these hidden histories need to be told, please subscribe to Black Stories Untold and help us spread awareness of the truth they don't want you to know. These stories of Black excellence deserve to be heard, and your subscription helps us continue uncovering them. Now, back to the video. By 1921, Idlewild has attracted a who's who of Black excellence that reads like a Civil Rights Hall of Fame. Madam C.J. Walker, America's first Black female millionaire, owns substantial property and declares Idlewild a great national progressive movement that provides a national meeting place where leading spirits could gather and discuss problems of race importance. W.E.B. Du Bois purchases multiple lots after his 1920 visit, writing in the Crisis magazine that Idlewild represents sweet, strong women and keen-witted men from Canada and Texas, California and New York, Ohio, Missouri, and Illinois, all sons and grandchildren of Ethiopia, all with the wide leisure of rest and play. Charles Waddell Chestnut, the groundbreaking novelist whose works challenged racial stereotypes, builds a summer home that will later be purchased and preserved by current township supervisor Carrington Atkins. Violet Neatley Anderson, the first Black woman admitted to practice before the U.S. Supreme Court, becomes a regular visitor and eventually donates her property to her sorority, Zeta Phi Beta. The annual NAACP Chautauquas, organized by Reverend Robert L. Bradby of Detroit's Second Baptist Church, transform Idlewild into Black America's intellectual powerhouse. These week-long gatherings feature debates between followers of Booker T. Washington's accommodationist philosophy, W.E.B. Du Bois's civil rights activism, and Marcus Garvey's Black nationalist movement. By 1925, the Idlewild Lot Owners Association includes property owners from 34 states, creating the first truly national Black community in American history. The Pere Marquette Railroad recognizes a gold mine when they see one. In 1923, they construct a dedicated branch line to Idlewild, running the resort special with Pullman sleeping cars directly from Chicago and Detroit every summer weekend from June through September. The trains are timed to connect with separate lines from Bay City to accommodate visitors from across the Midwest. That same year, Idlewild gets its own post office, establishing the community's legitimacy as a permanent settlement. The Idlewild Fire Department follows, staffed entirely by Black volunteers. Local government structures emerge organically as property owners create their own municipal services. The business district explodes across Island Park, later renamed Williams Island in honor of Dr. Williams. The Purple Palace Supper Club opens alongside the Idlewild Clubhouse. Black entrepreneurs establish dress shops, grocery stores, bicycle rental shops, at least 5 cafes, 2 hotels, 12 motels, a boarding house, and 4 nightclubs. By 1926, over 6,000 people have purchased 17,000 individual lots across the resort area. The real estate boom creates generational wealth within the Black community as property values increase and families pass down valuable lakefront holdings to their children and grandchildren. The white developers created a resort. Black Americans have built an empire. The post-World War II boom transforms Idlewild from intellectual retreat to entertainment capital. Detroit auto workers, Chicago steel workers, and Cleveland factory employees now have steady paychecks and paid vacation time. They descend on Idlewild by the thousands, seeking celebration rather than contemplation. Enter Phil Giles and Arthur Big Daddy Braggs, 2 Black entrepreneurs who understand exactly what this new audience wants. Giles, a successful Detroit hotelier, opens the Flamingo Club with elaborate pink flamingo motifs covering the walls and mirrors. The decor becomes iconic, symbolizing urban Black identity and sophistication. Braggs transforms the Paradise Club into something unprecedented, a venue that rivals New York's Apollo Theater. His masterstroke comes in 1950 when he creates the Fiesta Room, featuring elaborate productions with singers, dancers, and showgirls performing from May through September. The shows include white tablecloths, premium steaks, and world-class entertainment that attracts integrated audiences nightly. The clubs operate on staggered schedules, early shows at Paradise, late shows at Flamingo, allowing patrons to experience multiple performances each night. The arrangement creates an entertainment circuit that keeps visitors engaged from sunset to sunrise. Braggs creates the Arthur Braggs Idlewild Review, taking the Paradise Club performers on tour during the off-season to Montreal, Toronto, Boston, Kansas City, Chicago, and New York's Apollo Theater. Idlewild Entertainment goes international, showcasing Black talent to audiences across North America. Louis Armstrong doesn't just perform at Idlewild. He purchases a home in 1928 and spends entire summers swimming, horseback riding, and relaxing between tour dates. In his autobiography, he describes the freedom of vacationing without fear of racist hostility or discriminatory treatment. The Paradise Club becomes the crown jewel of Black entertainment, hosting Aretha Franklin, Jackie Wilson, The Four Tops, B.B. King, Della Reese, Sarah Vaughan, Cab Calloway, Dinah Washington, Brooke Benton, and Fats Waller. These performances draw integrated audiences from across the Midwest, with one resident recalling, "Some nights, there were more white people than Blacks. It wasn't about race, it was about fun." The Flamingo Club showcases regional talent alongside established acts like Laverne Baker and Alberta Adams, Detroit's Queen of the Blues. The venue's pink decor and intimate atmosphere creates a different vibe from the Paradise Club's grand productions, giving visitors distinct entertainment options. By the mid-1950s, summer visitor numbers reached 25,000 on peak weekends, temporarily making Idlewild one of Michigan's largest communities. The entertainment quality attracts white audiences who drive hours from Grand Rapids, Detroit, and Chicago specifically for Idlewild shows, proving that Black-controlled venues can compete with any entertainment destination in America. The success creates a feedback loop. Great entertainment attracts more visitors attract better entertainment, and better entertainment generates more revenue for the entire community. The 1950s and early 1960s represent Idlewild's golden age, with over 300 Black-owned businesses operating simultaneously during summer months. The economic ecosystem includes 35 motels, 25 restaurants, multiple hotels, beauty shops, barbershops, grocery stores, car washes, and even a roller skating rink for children. Entrepreneur John O. Meeks later recalled the prosperity. At its high point, between the 40s and early 60s, nearly 25,000 folks would descend on here in the summer. Hundreds of Black-owned businesses thrived. This place was hopping. We had a roller skating rink for the kids, our own fire department, and a post office. The business district creates employment opportunities for both seasonal and year-round residents. Black college students work summer jobs at the resorts, gaining valuable business experience while serving Black clientele who treat them with respect and dignity. Local families build multi-generational wealth through property ownership and business ventures. Even controversial figures like Chicago's Jones Brothers find success in Idlewild, proving that the community's economic opportunities attract entrepreneurs from all backgrounds. The point becomes clear. When Black people control their own economic destiny, prosperity follows naturally. The community operates as a completely self-sustaining economy where Black dollars circulate within Black businesses, creating the kind of economic multiplier effect that builds lasting wealth. July 2nd, 1964, President Lyndon Johnson signs the Civil Rights Act, and the beginning of the end arrives for Idlewild. The law grants Black Americans access to previously whites-only resorts, hotels, and entertainment venues across the country. Florida beaches open their doors. Las Vegas casinos welcome Black gamblers. Major resort destinations that had excluded Black tourists for decades must now serve them. The psychological impact proves devastating for Idlewild. Black families, viewing integration as the ultimate symbol of progress, feel compelled to prove their equality by accessing these previously forbidden destinations. Idlewild's entrepreneurs, unprepared for competition from established white resorts with deeper pockets and decades of infrastructure investment, failed to modernize their facilities or adequately reinvest in their properties. The community that had thrived on being the only option for Black vacationers suddenly faces competition from every resort in America. By the late 1960s, summer visitor numbers plummet as Black families choose integrated destinations over their own successful institutions. The Paradise Club gets demolished. The Flamingo Club closes permanently. The entertainment that made Idlewild famous migrates to Las Vegas and Atlantic City. The 1977 appearance on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show delivers the final blow, exposing Idlewild's decline to national ridicule. Property owners abandon inherited lots, refusing to pay taxes on land that no longer generates income. The most successful Black community in American history crumbles in less than a decade. Today, Idlewild's population hovers around 700 year-round residents, with many buildings abandoned and entire blocks returned to wilderness. The Idlewild Historic and Cultural Center, which opened in 2003, works to preserve what remains of this extraordinary legacy. Michigan invested approximately $500,000 in a strategic development plan completed in 2013, and the area was designated on the National Register of Historic Places in 1979. But the real legacy lives in the lesson Idlewild teaches us about Black economic power. For 50 years, this community proved that Black Americans could create excellence, prosperity, and cultural influence when controlling their own resources and institutions. The rise and fall of Idlewild connects directly to modern conversations about supporting Black-owned businesses, building generational wealth, and understanding the complex costs of integration. Every time someone advocates for buying Black or supporting the Black economy, they're echoing the wisdom that Idlewild demonstrated decades ago. The community shows us both the heights Black Americans can reach when working together and the vulnerability of Black institutions in an integrated society. Most importantly, Idlewild reminds us that Black joy, Black success, and Black excellence have never required white approval. They just require us to believe in ourselves and support each other. If this story moved you, share this video and subscribe to Black Stories Untold. We're committed to uncovering the hidden histories that mainstream education ignores. What did you think about Idlewild's story? And have you heard of other Black communities that thrived despite segregation? Let us know in the comments below. Because for every Idlewild they try to erase from history, dozens of other stories of Black excellence are waiting to be told.